Gaffler 42. Okay, let's try e4 again. Been having some fun with that lately. The French defense, e4, e6, d4, d5. Okay, well, this is some kind of move order trick. So this is a transposition into a Sicilian, if you want. Play this, now it's an open Sicilian. It was a French defense, now it's an open Sicilian. And now he doesn't take. So that's none of the above, that's just annoying. Okay, queen and bishop lined up on this square here. So let's defend it and then play knight to knight a4, hitting the queen and the bishop. There's a trick here, huh? Okay, I can't play that. Too bad. Let's try again. Let's kick the queen. Now this is interesting. There's a fork here, but it's not actually a real fork because he can take, and if I take back I lose the rook in the corner. So now my bishop was tied down defending this b pawn, but now it's not under attack. So why don't I develop the bishop here and get rid of this pressure on my f2 pawn, and then my queen I want it out of the way so I can develop my bishop from f1. So that solves two birds with one stone. Now from here the knight could go to g4 to harass my queen. Let's see, do I care? How about I develop the bishop first, and then if he plays his knight to g4, I can just put my queen on a better square. Oh, the knight there. I'm just going to castle. Protecting my rook. I can't take it because the rook hanging again. And so I just castle, defending the rook, and then he has to exchange. Okay, so he has a bishop and a knight, and I have two knights. I have all my pieces out, and he has his bishop not yet developed. So I have a slight lead in development, and having one bishop is not much of an advantage. Having both bishops, when your opponent doesn't, that's called the bishop pair, and that's an advantage. But one bishop is nothing to write home about. The question here is, what's my plan? I have more presence in the center. And probably I want to try and keep his bishop pinned in, but I can't really prevent it. He can play d5 here, for example. Well, let's play the move d4. So if he plays d5, then I can follow up with e5 and lock up the center. Yeah, he played that without thinking. Now, is this knight really good on this square? Let's see. I mean, what is the knight doing there? He's hitting these dark squares. And, well, he can lose the knight that way. Oh, no, he can take back with the knight. Okay, so if I kick the knight, the knight is going to this square. At least he's not harassing my f2 pawn. Now let's put a knight here on g5. Puts a little pressure on the e6 pawn. And the queen's hitting b2 here and d4, but the d4 is defended by my queen. I'm thinking of playing knight to a4 to c5. I think that's a good plan. But after his queen moves and I go knight c5, then he can take b2. So the question is, should I worry about that? Maybe I'll just give up that pawn in exchange for the e pawn here. So knight a4, queen moves, maybe here or here. Queen b5 or queen b3, then knight here. Attacking this pawn and that pawn. And if the queen takes here, I can just harass it with the rook. It's not quite trapped. It's almost trapped. He's just got this square to go to after he takes. Now, I do have to be careful. If he defends this pawn, my knight might become trapped here. So let's check this out. No, I will have a retreat square. So I could play, he has defended, so I can't take. Unless there's some tactic, and I don't see it. Let's do this. If he attacks my knight, I can move it with a tempo. Oh, I can move it to this square anyway, or this square. Tempo on his queen. So he's going to a square where he can defend this pawn. Maybe I should just double on the c file. I can invade on this square c7. Looks kind of interesting. So can I do something here? Like knight takes, bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. Is there anything? I guess I've given away my two good knights. I probably am not doing much there. Okay, so let's bring the knight back to a central location. He could reroute to b4 and then to c6. Double on the c file, get a rook to c7. Yeah, now if he trades, I can't stop that really. Do I want my queen on that square? Seems like a decent square for the queen. Well, maybe I should have let him trade, and then I could play my knight to that square. Might be an idea. Might have been an idea. Okay, so he's going to expand over here with the push g5. And can I discourage that in some way? Let's see, knight here to c6 is going to end up on that square. Let's put the queen on this diagonal. And no, he can't play b5 because I'll take on h6. Can't play g5 because I will take on h6. And maybe rook c6 is an idea. Okay. He's going to try and stop that. So knight here, hitting the a pawn. So if the rook comes over, I win a pawn. And if he does that, then the knight goes to c6. But wait a second, is it so safe on c6? That's the question. Maybe he can win the pawn there. Win the knight, I mean. So, okay, time situation. So knight there, he can't take right away, but it brings a rook. What have I got? Yeah, I don't see the, okay, yeah, I don't think the knight is doing so much there. Can't play knight to f4, however, because g5 would fork f4 and h4. And yeah, he can play his queen there. I mean, his bishop. He can play his bishop there. So he's trying to encourage me to make a mistake. Always a good strategy. So let's defend the knight. And play the move b4. Trying to weaken these guys. Oh, okay. I'll play the knight back to here. Okay, so the bishop on that square, is that more than an annoyance? Knight can't go there anymore. Okay, let's reroute the knight again. I think I may trade off that bishop. It's kind of an annoying piece. Blocking as it does this diagonal. Okay, wait a second. So if I play my knight here, he can push a pawn and kick my queen, and then push this pawn. So I just have to be careful where my queen goes. I guess after here I can put my queen on that square. Okay, now pawn here, pawn takes. If I take first, he gets a very strong pawn, and I have a weakness there. Okay, let's change my attention to the other side of the board then. What's going to happen here? If I just play f4 and g4 and go for the king side. Maybe rook c2 to f2, because I can't put the rook on f1. And he made a very strong formation over here with the bishop, so I can't really break through there. But on the other side, he can't move the bishop back. His bishop only goes forward from there. So I can play g4 here. He takes, I take, and then I can bring the rook over to threaten the h-pawn. And maybe get my knight in the game somehow too. He's already defending the h-pawn. Very insightful play from my opponent here. I guess I'm dropping, that's the problem, I'm dropping this pawn here. That's annoying. Rook f8. So now, let's see. What did I say? Queen queen needs to move. No, the queen doesn't need to move. That pawn is pinned. And my knight is protecting f1. He could put a bishop there or a rook there. Well, rook there is check. Yeah. King here. Where does the queen go? If I take with the knight, it's checkmate, right? Okay, so king here, queen there is checkmate also. Wow, that's annoying. That's annoying. Okay, good game, Gaffler. I guess I will have to have to start playing better. But that was an interesting game. I'm going to upload it and do a post-mortem, and see you guys later. Bye.